My boyfriend has been cheating with my identical twin, who's been pretending to be me in public to expose their gaslighting campaign to make me seem crazy. I'm Madison, 28 years old, living in Portland, and 3 weeks ago, I thought I was losing my mind. It started with little things. My coworker, Jenna, mentioned seeing me at a restaurant downtown on a Tuesday night. Problem was, I'd been home with the flu, barely able to move from my couch. I laughed it off, told her she must have seen someone who looked like me. But then it happened again. My neighbor knocked on my door one Saturday morning, asking why I'd ignored him at the grocery store the day before. I hadn't been to the grocery store. I'd been at my mom's place 2 hours away helping her move furniture. I started keeping a journal, writing down where I was, what I was doing, like I needed an alibi for my own life. My boyfriend Ethan thought I was being paranoid. He'd hold me at night and stroke my hair and tell me it was just coincidence. Portland's not that big, he'd say. People have doppelgangers. I wanted to believe him. Then my best friend Rachel sent me a photo. It was from her Instagram story from the previous weekend. The photo showed me at some outdoor concert wearing my favorite denim jacket, the one with a patch on the sleeve that I sewed on myself. Except I'd been at a work conference in Seattle that entire weekend. I stared at that photo for an hour, zoomed in on every detail. It was me, my face, my hair, my jacket, even my stupid habit of standing with my weight on my left leg. But it wasn't me. That's when I called my twin sister, Olivia. We hadn't talked in 6 months, not since she'd shown up drunk to my birthday dinner and caused a scene. She'd always been the wild one, the one who made impulsive decisions and left chaos in her wake. Growing up, people could barely tell us apart, but our personalities were nothing alike. I was the responsible one, the one with the stable job and the boring routine. She was the one who backpacked through Europe on a whim and dated musicians and showed up at family gatherings with new tattoos. She didn't answer my first call or my second. On the third try, she picked up. "What do you want, Maddie?" Her voice was cold. "Have you been in Portland recently?" Silence. "Olivia, answer me. Have you been here? Why would I be in Portland? You made it pretty clear you didn't want me around. People keep seeing me places I haven't been." Rachel sent me a photo from last weekend and I was in Seattle. "Someone who looks exactly like me is walking around this city." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Maybe you're sleepwalking, or maybe you're finally losing it like Mom always said you would." I hung up, but something in her voice bothered me. The way she'd paused before answering. The edge in that laugh. I went to Ethan's apartment that night. He lived in a trendy neighborhood near the Pearl District. I had a key, but I knocked anyway. He opened the door in sweatpants, hair messy, looking surprised. "Hey babe, thought you were working late. I need to talk to you about something." He let me in. I sat on his couch and showed him the photo Rachel had sent. Explained everything. The sightings, the inconsistencies, the impossible timeline. He looked concerned. Genuinely concerned. "Maybe someone stalking you, like wearing similar clothes and my exact jacket with my exact face. Could be Photoshop." "Ethan, multiple people have seen this person in real life." He pulled me close. "Let's go to the police tomorrow. File a report. This is serious." I buried my face in his chest. He smelled like the cologne I bought him for Christmas. Safe, familiar. I stayed over that night. The next morning, I woke up before him. His phone was on the nightstand, screen down. I'd never been the snooping type. Never had a reason to be. Ethan and I had been together for 2 years. We talked about moving in together, about the future, but something made me pick up that phone. It was unlocked. He must have been using it before bed and forgotten to lock it. The screen showed his messages. The most recent conversation was with a contact saved as V. I opened it. My hands started shaking. The messages went back weeks. Flirty messages, plans to meet up, and photos. Photos of someone who looked exactly like me, but wasn't me. In those photos, she was wearing clothes I didn't own, making expressions I'd never make, standing in places I'd never been. And the messages, they were explicit, intimate. The kind of messages you send to someone you're sleeping with. One message from 3 days ago. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Wear that black dress I like." Ethan's response. "You know I prefer you in nothing." I thought I might throw up. I scrolled further back. Found the first message. It was from 2 months ago. Via. "Hey stranger, been a while." Ethan. "Olivia, how did you get my number?" My blood went cold. Olivia. My sister had been texting my boyfriend, sending him photos, meeting up with him. I kept reading. My vision blurred with tears, but I kept reading. There were messages about me, about how Madison's been so stressed lately, and maybe we should cool it for a bit. There were messages about their meetups, restaurants, his apartment, a hotel in downtown Portland. And then I found the worst ones. Messages about pretending to be me, about Olivia wearing my clothes, about her showing up at places I frequented, letting people see her, creating confusion. "Ethan, this is getting risky. What if someone figures it out?" Via. "That's the point, baby. She's already doubting herself. Give it another few weeks and everyone will think she's paranoid, unstable." Ethan. "And then Vess V would bin and you'll break up with her because you can't handle her mental health issues and we can finally be together without anyone judging us." I dropped the phone. Ethan stirred in bed. "Babe, you okay?" I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I grabbed my things and ran. He called after me, but I didn't stop. I made it to my car and drove home in a daze. At every red light, I gripped the steering wheel and tried to process what I'd just learned. My boyfriend was cheating on me with my identical twin sister, and they were both gaslighting me deliberately, systematically making me think I was crazy, making everyone else think I was crazy. I got home and locked every door, closed every curtain. Then I sat on my bathroom floor and cried until I had nothing left. My phone rang. Ethan. I didn't answer. He called 17 times that morning. Left voicemails. "Madison, please let me explain. It's not what you think. Please call me back. Not what I think." I'd read every message message, seen every photo. Then Olivia started calling. I answered on the third ring. You went through his phone. Not a question, a statement. How could you? My voice cracked. You're my sister. Was I ever, though? Really? She sounded calm. Too calm. You've always looked down on me, Madison. Always thought you were better. The good twin, the successful one. So, you decided to destroy my life. I decided to take what should have been mine. Ethan was into me first. You know, we met at that coffee shop near campus 3 years ago. We talked for hours, but then you walked in and he saw two of me, and suddenly it was you. He wanted the responsible twin, the safe choice. That's insane, is it? You always got everything, Maddie. Mom's approval, Dad's trust fund, the good job, the perfect boyfriend. What did I get? Disappointment and lectures. So, you've been impersonating me, trying to make me seem unstable. Trying. Babe, I've succeeded. Rachel thinks you're having some kind of breakdown. Your co-workers are whispering. Even Mom called me last week asking if you were okay. My stomach dropped. You talked to Mom. Told her I was worried about you, that you'd been acting strange, paranoid. She's thinking about flying out to check on you. This was worse than I thought. This wasn't just about Ethan. This was a full campaign to destroy my credibility, my relationships, my life. Why? I whispered. Because I'm tired of being the screw-up twin. This time you get to be the crazy one. And when you finally snap, when you lose it completely, I'll be there to pick up the pieces. I'll comfort Ethan. I'll help Mom. I'll be the good daughter for once. She hung up. I sat there numb. They'd planned this, coordinated it. Ethan feeding Olivia information about my schedule, my habits, my clothes. Olivia showing up at strategic places, creating sightings, building a pattern, and it had almost worked. If I hadn't found those messages, I would have started doubting my own sanity, would have pushed people away, would have ended up isolated and alone while they lived happily ever after. But I had found the messages, and I wasn't going to let them win. I spent the next 3 days planning. I called in sick to work, didn't answer anyone's calls or texts, let Ethan and Olivia think they'd broken me. But I was gathering evidence. I went through my bank statements, found charges at restaurants and stores during times I'd been elsewhere. Except they weren't my charges. Someone had cloned my credit card. Had to be Olivia. She must have gotten access to my wallet at some point. I called my credit card company, reported fraud. They sent me detailed receipts, photos from security cameras at some locations. There she was, Olivia, dressed like me, using my card, creating a paper trail that made it look like I was in 2 places at once. I saved everything. Then I did something risky. I texted Ethan, "We need to talk. Can you come over tonight?" He responded immediately. "Of course, I've been so worried. Are you okay? Just come over at 8. At 7, I called my friend Marcus. He's a freelance videographer. Owed me a favor from when I'd helped him land a corporate contract. I need you to hide cameras in my apartment. Small ones, undetectable. Madison, what's going on? I'll explain later. Can you do it?" He arrived within 30 minutes. We set up 3 cameras, one in the living room, one in the kitchen, one in the hallway, all connected to a cloud server, all recording. At 8, Ethan knocked. I opened the door, let him in. He looked terrible. Dark circles under his eyes, wrinkled shirt. "Madison, thank God. I was so scared. You weren't answering. And I thought maybe you thought I'd, what, hurt myself? Isn't that what you were hoping for?" His face changed. Careful, guarded. "What are you talking about?" "I read the messages, Ethan. All of them." He went pale. "I can explain. Can you explain why you've been sleeping with my sister? Why you've been helping her impersonate me? Why you've been trying to make me think I'm losing my mind? It's not like that then. What is it like?" He ran his hands through his hair. "Paced my living room. It started as a mistake. She reached out to me a few months ago. Said she wanted to reconnect. We met for coffee. Just coffee. But then we started talking and you decided to betray me. I didn't mean for it to happen, but she understood me in ways you never did. She was exciting, spontaneous. You're always so controlled, Madison. So predictable. So you gaslit me instead of just breaking up with me. That was her idea. I told her it was too much, but she insisted. Said, if we just ended things normally, you'd make our lives miserable. But if everyone thought you were unstable first, if you isolated yourself, then you'd both look like victims instead of villains." He stopped pacing, looked at me. "I did love you once. I want you to know that. Get out, Madison. Get out." He left. I sat down and watched the camera footage on my laptop crystal clear. His confession. All of it recorded, but I wasn't done. The next day, I texted Olivia from a burner phone. Pretended to be Ethan. She knows we need to meet. Usual place. Noon. The usual place was apparently a hotel bar downtown. I'd seen it referenced in their messages. I got there early, sat in a corner booth, wore sunglasses and a hat. Olivia arrived at noon, dressed in my style, wore her hair like mine, even walked like me. It was disturbing, like watching a mirror image with its own agenda. She ordered a drink, checked her phone, waited. Ethan never showed. After 30 minutes, she called him. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I saw her face change. Anger, confusion. She left. I followed her. She went to Ethan's apartment, banged on the door. He didn't answer. She called again. Finally left a voicemail. "What the hell, Ethan? Why did you stand me up? Call me back." I smiled. Over the next week, I played them against each other. Sent messages from fake numbers, made each of them think the other was backing out, getting cold feet, planning to tell me everything. The trust between them crumbled. Olivia showed up at my apartment on day 8. I watched through the peephole as she knocked, called my name. I didn't answer. She left an envelope under my door. Inside was a letter. Madison, I know you hate me right now. I know what Ethan and I did was unforgivable, but you need to know the truth. This whole thing was his idea. He approached me months ago, said he was tired of you, but couldn't figure out how to leave without looking like a bad guy. He manipulated me, used me. I thought he loved me, but he's been using both of us. I'm done with him. I'm sorry. I know you won't believe me, but I'm sorry. Mine is Olivia. I read it twice. She was lying. I'd seen the messages. It was her idea, her plan, but now she was trying to rewrite history, blame everything on Ethan. I kept a letter. That night, Ethan called from a different number. Madison, it's me. Please don't hang up. I need to tell you something about Olivia. She's dangerous. She's been threatening me. Says if I don't leave you and be with her, she'll tell everyone I assaulted her. She's been planning this from the beginning, using me to get to you. I was an idiot to get involved, but I never wanted to hurt you. You have to believe me. I hung up. They were both scrambling, both trying to paint themselves as the victim. Neither realized I was 10 steps ahead. I spent the next few days compiling everything, every message, every photo, every receipt, every piece of camera footage, created a detailed timeline, showed exactly how they'd orchestrated the gaslighting campaign. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I created a private Instagram account, invited everyone who mattered, my friends, my family, colleagues, even Ethan's friends and Olivia's friends, and I posted everything, not all at once, in installments, like a documentary. Episode 1, the sightings, screenshots of people telling me they'd seen me places I hadn't been, my calendar showing where I actually was. Episode 2, the messages, Ethan and Olivia's texts, redacted the explicit parts, but left enough to show the affair and the planning. Episode 3, the confession, the video of Ethan in my apartment, his admission, his excuses. Episode 4, the evidence, credit card receipts, security camera photos, Olivia dressed as me using my card creating false alibis. Episode 5, the betrayal, Olivia's letter trying to blame Ethan, Ethan's call trying to blame Olivia, both of them lying, both of them scrambling. The response was immediate. My phone exploded with messages. People were horrified, angry, supportive. Rachel called me crying. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry. I didn't believe you. My mom called. She was furious. Not at me, at Olivia. I always knew she was troubled, but I never thought she'd do something like this. Ethan's friends texted, "Dude, what the actual hell?" And then Olivia called. "You destroyed my life." Her voice shook with rage. "Everyone knows now. Everyone thinks I'm insane. I can't show my face anywhere." "Funny," I said calmly. "That's exactly what you wanted for me. I'm your sister. Were you thinking about that when you were sleeping with my boyfriend? When you were using my credit card? When you were trying to convince everyone I was mentally unstable?" Silence. "I gave you everything, Olivia. Our whole lives. I defended you, covered for you, lied to mom and dad for you. And this is how you repay me. You don't understand what it's like being your twin, living in your shadow, so you tried to destroy me instead of just living your own life. I hate you." She whispered it. "I've always hated you." "I know," I said. "I know that now." I hung up, blocked her number, blocked Ethan's numbers, blocked anyone who'd taken their side, and then I did something else. I packed my apartment, took a week off work, used some of my vacation days I'd been saving, and I left Portland, drove down the coast, no plan, no destination, just drove. I stopped in little towns, walked on beaches, sat in cafes, wrote in my journal, at a bed and breakfast in Mendocino. The owner asked if I was okay. I must have looked tired, worn. "Bad breakup," I told her. She nodded knowingly. "Those can break you or remake you. Your choice," which I thought about that. Ethan and Olivia had tried to break me, had come so close, but they'd failed because I'd fought back, because I'd gathered evidence, because I'd exposed them. And now I was free. Free from a boyfriend who'd never really loved me. Free from a sister who'd always resented me. Free from the life I'd been trying so hard to maintain. I stayed in Mendocino for 3 days, then kept driving. In San Francisco, I met up with an old college friend, Jessica. Told her everything over wine and Thai food. She listened, didn't interrupt, and when I finished, she said, "You're a badass. You know that. I don't feel like one. You outsmarted 2 people who were actively trying to destroy you. That's pretty badass." Maybe she was right. I stayed with Jessica for a week. She let me sleep on her couch, took me to her favorite spots in the city, introduced me to her friends. One of them, a guy named Tyler, worked at a tech startup. We got to talking at a dinner party. He mentioned they were hiring. "What do you do?" he asked. I told him about my marketing job in Portland, the campaigns I'd run, the results I'd achieved. He seemed impressed. "Send me your resume. I think you'd be a great fit for our team." I did. 2 weeks later, they offered me a position. Better pay, better benefits, a chance to start over in a new city. I accepted. Went back to Portland just long enough to pack my things, give notice at my job, close that chapter. I didn't see Ethan or Olivia. Didn't want to, but I heard through Rachel that things weren't going well for them. Ethan had been fired from his job. Apparently, his boss had seen my Instagram posts, decided someone with that kind of moral character didn't represent their company values. Olivia had moved back in with our parents. Mom was making her see a therapist. Dad had cut her off financially, and their relationship fell apart within a week of my posts going live. Turns out, when there's no common enemy, some couples have nothing left. I moved to San Francisco in October, got a small apartment in the Mission District, started my new job, made new friends, and slowly I started to heal. The nightmares stopped after a few months. The paranoia faded. I stopped looking over my shoulder, expecting to see Olivia pretending to be me. In December, my mom called, asked if I'd come home for Christmas. "Will Olivia be there?" "No, she's not in a good place, Madison. She's asked not to see family right now." I thought about it, decided to go. Christmas with my parents was quiet, subdued. We didn't talk about Olivia much, didn't talk about Ethan at all. But on Christmas Eve, after my dad had gone to bed, my mom poured us both wine. "I owe you an an apology," she said. "For what? For not seeing it, for not protecting you. I knew Olivia was troubled. I knew she resented you, but I never thought she'd go that far. It's not your fault, isn't it? I always compared you two. Always held you up as the example. Maybe if I'd handled things differently, Mom. Olivia made her choices. You didn't make them for her." She wiped her eyes. "You're stronger than I ever gave you credit for." We sat in comfortable silence, sipping wine, watching the Christmas tree lights blink, and for the first time in months, I felt at peace. January came. I got a text from an unknown number. "Madison, it's Olivia. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it, but I wanted you to know I'm getting help. Real help. And I'm sorry for everything." I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond, to ask questions, to understand, but a bigger part of me knew there was nothing she could say that would change what happened. I deleted the message and moved on. In February, I met someone. His name was David. He worked at a bookstore near my apartment. We started as friends, coffee dates, long conversations about books and life and everything in between. He knew about my past. I'd been honest from the start. Told him about Ethan and Olivia and the gaslighting. He listened without judgment. "That's intense," he said. "How are you doing with all of it now?" "Better most days. And the bad days, I remind myself I survived and I'm stronger for it." He smiled. I like that we took things slow. I wasn't ready to rush into anything. Wasn't ready to trust completely. But David was patient, kind, real, and for the first time since everything happened, I felt like maybe I could have something good again. In March, Rachel visited. We spent the weekend exploring San Francisco, catching up, laughing. "You seem happy," she said over brunch in North Beach. "I am, surprisingly. After everything they put you through, you could have become bitter, angry. I was angry for a while, but staying angry would mean they still had power over me." She raised her mimosa to moving on, to moving on. We clinked glasses. That night, lying in bed, I thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the gaslighting, the way Ethan and Olivia had systematically tried to destroy my life. They'd come so close, but they'd underestimated me. They thought I'd break, thought I'd crumble under the pressure, thought I'd isolate myself and prove their narrative true. Instead, I'd fought back. I'd gathered evidence, exposed their lies, taken back control of my story, and I'd walked away from both of them with my head held high. Were there moments I still felt the sting? Sure. Moments when I wondered if I'd missed warning signs, moments when I questioned my judgment, but those moments were fewer now, farther between, because I'd learned something through all of this. I'd learned that I was capable of more than I'd ever imagined, that I could face betrayal and manipulation and come out stronger, that I didn't need anyone's validation to know my worth. In April, I got a promotion at work. My boss called me into her office, told me I'd been exceeding expectations, that she wanted me to lead a new campaign for a major client. I accepted. That weekend, David took me to dinner to celebrate a nice restaurant overlooking the bay. We talked about the future, not too seriously, just possibilities. "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" he asked. I thought about it. 5 years ago, I would have said Portland, marriage, stability. Now here, I said, building something new, something real. He reached across the table, took my hand. "I'm glad you ended up here." "Me too." And I meant it, because even though the path that led me here was painful and twisted and full of betrayal, it had also led me to a better life. A life where I was stronger, more aware, more myself. Ethan and Olivia had tried to destroy me, but they'd accidentally set me free. In May, I changed my Instagram to public again, posted new photos, new memories, new adventures. A few people from my old life commented, asked how I was doing, said I looked happy. I responded politely, briefly, because that chapter was closed. I wasn't the girl who got gaslit by her boyfriend and twin sister anymore. I was Madison, marketing director, San Francisco resident, survivor, and I was writing my own story now. One day in June, I ran into someone who knew Olivia, a mutual acquaintance from college. She recognized me at a coffee shop, came over hesitantly. "Madison, I wasn't sure if it was you. It's me. I heard about what happened with Olivia and your ex. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Thank you. For what it's worth, I always thought you were the better twin." I smiled, not because I needed the validation, but because I clear as throat knew it was true. Not better, just different, and finally comfortable being exactly who I was. That night, I deleted all the Instagram posts about Ethan and Olivia. The evidence, the exposure, all of it. Not because I regretted it, but because I didn't need it anymore. I'd made my point, reclaimed my narrative, moved on. Keeping those posts up would have meant I was still fighting a battle that was already won. In July, my mom called. "Olivia wants to talk to you." My stomach tightened. "I'm not ready for that. I understand, but she's doing better. The therapy is helping. She's taking responsibility. That's good. I'm glad she's getting help. Will you ever forgive her?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. Maybe someday, but not today. And maybe not for a long time. That's fair. We talked about other things. My job, my new apartment, David. Before we hung up, she said, "I'm proud of you, Madison, for how you handled everything, for who you've become." "Thanks, Mom." I meant it. In August, David and I took a weekend trip to Napa. Wine tasting, beautiful scenery, no agenda. On our last night, sitting on the balcony of our hotel room, he asked me something. "Do you think you'll ever fully trust someone again after what happened?" I considered it. "I think so, but it'll take time and the right person." "Am I the right person?" I looked at him, really looked at him. "You might be." He kissed me, and for the first time in over a year, I felt completely present, completely safe. Not because I'd forgotten what Ethan and Olivia did, but because I'd healed enough to risk opening my heart again. September brought clarity. I realized I didn't think about Ethan anymore. Didn't wonder what he was doing or who he was with. He was a chapter in my life that had ended badly, but just a chapter, not the whole book. And Olivia, I'd probably never understand why she hated me so much, why she'd gone to such lengths to destroy me. But I'd stopped needing to understand. Some people are broken in ways you can't fix, ways that aren't your responsibility. In October, exactly 1 year after I'd moved to San Francisco, I threw myself a party. Not a celebration of survival, though that was part of it. A celebration of thriving. My friends came. David came. Even Rachel flew in from Portland. We drank wine fine and ate good food and laughed until our sides hurt. And when Rachel pulled me aside and asked, "Are you really happy?" I could honestly say yes, because I was. Not in spite of what happened, but because I'd refused to let it define me. Later that night, after everyone had left and it was just David and me cleaning up, he said something. "You know what I admire most about you?" "What?" "You could have become bitter, vengeful, but you chose to become better instead." I exposed them pretty thoroughly. Some might call that vengeful. No, that was justice and self-protection, but you didn't let it consume you. You moved on. He was right. I had moved on. And as I fell asleep that night in my San Francisco apartment with David beside me and a future full of possibilities ahead, I realized something. Ethan and Olivia had tried to make me disappear. Instead, I'd found myself, and that was the best revenge of all. The end came not with confrontation or closure. It came with quiet confidence, with knowing I'd survived the worst betrayal imaginable and come out stronger, with building a life so full and rich that the past became just that past. Sometimes the people who hurt you don't get dramatic come-ups. Sometimes they just become irrelevant, and sometimes that's